Up next, Magnum Hunter surging today despite posting a wider than expected loss. Look at that, up 8.5%. Well, maybe that's because oil is bounding back as well. It's good news to a shale producer like Magnum, and the CEO, Gary Evans, joins us when we come right back. Stay tuned. Whale Plus, our next guest, has divested more than $700 million of his oil properties and almost completely exited the oil space, now operating predominantly in the natural gas industry.
Having said that, though, we do want to talk about shale oil and what it means to the economy. Joining us now for what the low cost of shale means to the industry, CEO of Magnum Hunter Resources, Gary Evans, joins us today. Gary, good to see you. Welcome.
Welcome.
Good to see both of you. Thank you.
What happens to the burgeoning shale oil industry? It's a very simple question. If the price of oil keeps going lower, are you guys your own worst enemy for producing this much and pushing the price down?
Well, there's no question that our industry has a floor. We can't continue to drill wells at lower prices. I think that you'd have to get prices probably down in the $65 range to really cripple the industry, which is what I think Saudi Arabia is trying to do here in the U.S.
Why do you think they'd want to do that, Gary?
Well, we've taken a lion's share. We've taken a big chunk of their production. That we're not importing nearly as much crude oil from Saudi Arabia as we did 2, 3, 4 years ago. So they can only afford this for a short period of time, and that's what I think the market is missing here. Is this is maybe a 6-month, at most a year situation, and you're not going to cripple this industry. Our costs keep coming down. Fortunately, we made a decision about 2 years ago to exit most of our oil properties. So we've sold over $700 million of our oil. We're primarily today 65–70% natural gas.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, why the sale now? Do you know something we don't? You feel like you're selling at the top?
I've actually been negative on oil for over 2 years. We put in a lot of floors to protect us. Like today, even though oil is $78 a barrel, I'm getting close to 100 because we hedged our oil. So we're down to just 3,000 barrels a day of crude oil production, which, our company at year-end will be producing 33,000 barrels a day net. So it's a very small percentage of our production. We're really a gas company, and that's where I think the future is for the oil and gas industry in the United States.
Kelly,
is natural gas.
I'm sorry, I got one more question on this. Are you saying you don't think you guys can make money in the shale oil business at these prices?
No, down to 65. 65 is where it really
I know, but you just said you made the decision 2 years ago to get out of the business.
Well, mainly because I felt like oil prices were too high. I thought they would drop. So we were able to sell our oil production over the last 2 years, over $700 million of properties at over $100,000 a flowing barrel, which is a very premium price.
It's fascinating, and I'm just thinking as well about, the moves that Harold Hamm has made at Continental to basically not be hedged. I mean, you just said it's because you hedge that you're benefiting from effectively a higher oil price than we see right now. What did you think about his move?
I'm sorry, what do I think about what?
The move Harold Hamm is making at Continental to basically take off the oil hedges and kind of go all in, facing naked an oil price that he's betting, frankly, is just going to go higher.
Well, it's a huge bet. And I think we all recognize that crude oil is needed throughout the world. The economies, though, in China and India and Europe, they're still not doing what they were 3, 4 years ago. The United States is really an anomaly when you look at the rest of the world, and that's because we have such cheap energy prices. This industry has really bailed out this economy by bringing all this natural gas, by bringing all this crude oil, that's allowing us to have these industries come back to the U.S. and thrive. So, our business is a bet. We're betting drilling wells, we're betting on prices. So you can hedge those bets by taking hedging risk and going unhedged, and certain companies have different opinions regarding that.
You're very diplomatic about that. Let's talk a moment about natural gas. To some degree, it's had the same storyline that shale's having right now. A lot of promise, but so much supply out there that the prices were depressed. They're starting to move higher now. Do you think that's for real, and where are they going?
Natural gas for the next 12 months is totally dependent upon weather. And so you give us a cold winter, we're going to have high natural gas prices. You give us a mild winter, it's going to be low. However, long term, which is what I really have to do when I'm building this company with my management team, is we're very bullish on natural gas long term. When you look at all the huge industries coming back, in Beaumont, in South Louisiana, $1.5 billion chemical plants and ethylene plants, All these industries are coming back because they're confident that we're going to have a long-term supply of cheap natural gas. At $4 gas, which is where we are today, I locked in this morning $4 gas for calendar year 2015. Our rates of return at $4 gas are 80 to 90%. So
wow,
we love $4 gas.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
And just a final question, and I'm thinking again about the impact. You know, listen, when we saw the housing boom and bust, it did tremendous damage to the U.S. economy. Are there any hidden risks, leverage, et cetera, Gary, that you see from the oil price boom and bust that we aren't fully aware of yet here?
Well, it's going to take, the one thing about our industry, it's very, very resilient. And the more we drill, the more we understand these shale formations, our costs come down. And I think that's a big fallacy that the Middle Eastern countries are making. If they think they're going to drive this business out, they got another thing coming. We continue to drop our costs so we can live with lower costs. So this whole industry is getting better with our technology, and we're able to drive our total finding costs down, which means that the consumers can have a lower oil price and a lower gas price.
Wow.
Gary, we don't wish you ill, but I'm hoping for a warm winter this year. I'm sorry, buddy.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm hoping
we've got a polar vortex.
Y'all have got to use so much heat you can't stand it.
Good to have you with us. Thank you.
Thank you very
so
much.
Gary Evans, the CEO of Magnum Hunter. Fascinating stuff, Bill, with about 40 minutes to go here.